Welcome back, everyone. Further Beyond. This time, actually, remembered the name of this podcast
Yes,
correctly.
sir. Your redemption arc.
Yeah, we had a how long was it? Like 2 week break.
It was two
Sorry for
weeks.
that. Yeah, we didn't have time to record. Like sometimes I had time, Apollo didn't, and vice versa. But we're back, and as
Yes, sir.
promised, yeah, we researched or we looked up some near-death experiences. uh, you got one story, right? Yeah, like a longer one. So
Yeah,
let me.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better if I just start because my two stories are rather short, and then we can end it off with your long story.
All right,
Since
bet.
it's
Say
long,
less.
yeah, it has more details. But let's start it off with. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Anita Morjani. I hope this is correct. But yeah, Anita was diagnosed with lymphoma in 2002. I don't know what this is, but from what I gathered, it's a deadly disease. And she, first and foremost, said that she considers herself more spiritual than religious. I think you told me like you're similar to that, right? Like you don't read the Bible and stuff, but you fuck with the whole spiritual side
Yeah,
of
I fuck with God for sure.
yeah. And she was losing this whole battle. From if I remember correctly, this is like some type of cancer, and she was losing the cancer battle. So in 2006, she slipped into a coma in February 2006, and she tells people like, because I mean, how she obviously survived. Spoilers, since she is telling the story, but she said that when she died, she crossed over to an afterlife. And quoting
Interesting.
her, she says, "I felt as though I was above my body. It was like a 360-degree like vision of the whole area around her body, like where she was lying, and she, from the outside, was able to see herself. Um, but not just in the room itself, where the body was, but also beyond the room. I don't
What
know
the?
how you could even like imagine that. Was she able to fly around, or was she able to look through walls? I don't know. But from what like she tells the interviewer here, she like her soul apparently left her body, according to her, and she was able to see everything around her. I don't know what the range obviously is, um, but she was in this state reunited with her late father, who told her to turn back. Like this is something you hear, like you
What?
have, like from movies, right? Like I feel like I saw movies like that or games. I don't know, where someone dies and then they see their parents, like their dead parents, and they tell them to turn back. I think even yeah, Naruto had that when some people died. No spoilers though,
Yeah, no spoiler, no
and
spoiler. But yeah,
others.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So he's telling her to turn back. It's not your time yet, like to just straight up die. You can still live. Turn back. And another quote. He said that I've gone as far as I can, and if I go any further, I won't be able to turn back. But I felt I didn't want to turn back because it was so beautiful. It was
What
just
the?
incredible because for the first time, all the pain had gone. All the discomfort had gone. All the fear was gone. I just felt so incredible, and I felt as though I was enveloped in this feeling of just love, unconditional love. So, obviously, she was fighting with this type of cancer for years, and after she fell into this coma, all the pain just went away. And I mean, I can understand for her not wanting to turn back, right? Like after all these years of hurt, she just has peace finally. But her dad is like, "Nope, you have to go back. I'm sorry, but it's not your time yet."
That is insane. Especially for people that are like, because some people really feel that way, like very, very sad to where they think like that release is gonna be them finally leaving the earth. That's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah. And she says that after a while, like, I mean, in this whole state, she had also, quoting once again, an incredible clarity where everything started to make sense. And after that, she said she decided to return to her body because she believed it would heal very, very quickly. So her dad is sending her back, and she, for some reason, it feels like it all just makes sense that if she goes back, her cancer will heal, will go away, and like all these stories have to end this way. Quoting, within 4 days, my tumors shrunk by 70%, and the doctors were shocked.
What the hell?
And I kept telling everyone that I know I'm going to be okay. I know it's not my time to die. So, obviously, we don't know how much of that can be believed. Some people just lie for clout. I don't know, even in 2006. But she was suffering from cancer, and that's a fact. And I don't think that this last part of the tumors shrinking is a lie. I assume I can research this and find out that this is fact. I feel like this is fact, and it's crazy because this story just is like in movies and stuff. Someone just tells you, "Nope, it's not your time yet. Please go back. You will be fine." And you wake up and you're suddenly more or less healed.
Yeah, that's
this is
insane.
crazy. And I mean, this is like one of those typical stories. I mean, a lot of these afterlife or death experience stories end with someone being healed after they wake up, after they die. Obviously, it's not with all people, because most people just die straight up. They don't wake up anymore. But apparently, some people are able to wake up again because they weren't completely dead at that point. And I don't know. I think this is an area that still needs exploring, but at the same time, how would you even explore this? Because you need to die for that.
Yeah, please don't.
I don't think a lot of scientists would volunteer
at all. I mean, I feel like some people would though. Like maybe have people that are like close to. Or how about this? Maybe sort of a hot take, but like people that like kind of want to leave Earth already. Just have them be like the test subjects for like testing this or not.
I assume. I mean, if they are fine with it, sure. But I also have this feeling that there are laws preventing this, even though the person wants, like, is okay with dying temporarily.
Yeah.
Like they are telling people, "Yep, we are going to kill you for a few seconds, and we will bring you back." But obviously, the bringing back part is also incredibly risky. Like there's no guarantee for that you will actually get back to go back to life. But I mean, as you said, I think this is this is not a bad take. I think if people are willing to do this for science, and as you said, it's true, some people will be willing to do this, because if something actually comes up, this is going to be huge. Like knowing what happens after death, this would, I mean, I can't imagine
disprove so many things.
Yeah, there's not a lot of there are not a lot of inventions or there's not a lot of things that are worth more than just knowing what happens after death, because this is a question that is still not answered since day one of humanity. So this would be a crazy thing, but for some reason we still are not able to do that. I assume just because it's just a risky thing, and at the same time, there's no guarantee for that the person who died and came back will actually tell you something relevant, even if they come back. Maybe most of them, I think, just say, "I don't remember," or "Nothing happened." But some people are telling these stories.
I feel like they would test you, and then you would come back and say, "I'm not telling you." Like 1000%.
Yeah, you died. You saw the truth of the earth, like the final understanding, and then nope, not telling you.
You just wouldn't tell them for no reason. They're like, "Bro, just tell us."
You're not getting paid, bro.
No
That's
way.
fine. I know it all. But yeah, the second story is a bit different, but similar in the for the ending. In this story, there is it's about a 4-year-old little girl diagnosed with a chronic digestive disorder, and like this went on for a few years. Now in this story, she's 8 when her quote unquote death happened.
Yeah.
And she tells us that, or her parents tell us that her daughter, Annabelle Beam, experienced intense pain and had to go to the hospital very frequently. So she's similar to the woman before, have like a lot of pain because of a chronic disease. Her parents describe her as sweet and gracious, but I mean, okay, that's also not every parent low-key says that.
Yes, so that's what you're calling Cap on? Her being sweet? Not her coming back to life.
Nah, this is for sure Cap. Nah, I mean, why was this even in the article, right? But I had to write this down just cause.
Yeah.
Especially since her father is Kevin. Whatever. Is his name Kevin?
Who is Kevin?
I don't know if this is in the
way.
the same thing in the US, but in Germany everyone makes fun of people who are named Kevin. So I just have to do the same thing.
No way.
Yeah, but they are saying that her daughter wasn't ever making a big deal out of it. Like, she was suffering, but she was suffering in silence. So I guess it's a very strong 8-year-old to make it so her parents don't worry too much about her. And but at some point, sadly, the suffering started to overwhelm Annabelle, and like she was feeling very unwell, and it's like there was a day when she was outside. Apparently, I don't know what it was. They are telling days later, Annabelle said she fell 30 feet from a tree branch that cracked while she was sitting on it with her sister Abby. And she claims that after bumping her head 3 times on the way down and falling into the hollowed out base of the tree, she died and went to heaven.
Jesus.
30 feet and she bumped her head 3 times. Okay, I mean, props to her for being able to count.
Has she survived that? Yeah, she counted it.
Like, dung, dung, dung. Okay. A straight up cartoon, but yeah. She says she died and went to heaven. Quoting her now, "It was really bright, and I sat on Jesus' lap, and he told me, whenever the firefighters get you out, there will be nothing wrong with you. And I asked him if I could stay, and he said, no, I have plans you need to fulfill on earth that you cannot fulfill in heaven." And I mean, low-key, I believe the story before that more than this one, just because of the fact that she was sitting on Jesus' lap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a weird thing to imagine. But I mean, okay, he's similar to the dad in the past story, is the one to tell her that it's not like it's not her time to die yet. Like, she has to get back, and when she gets back, her disease, her illness is going to be gone. And now she wakes up, and after a few days, like 1 week, 2 weeks, I don't know the exact time frame, she is symptom free. I think she's still living today. Like, she had this chronic disease, but now no symptoms at all. And Annabelle had gone from taking 10 daily medications to none, like, as if it never happened. And then there's a quote, the last thing is a quote from her mom. She says she fell 30 feet head first without any injuries or 1 bug bite, whatever that means.
What?
She came out. I don't know why she added that. I mean, okay, without any injuries or 1 bug bite, she came out of that tree 3 hours later, wet, muddy, and with scratches, and she's well. I mean,
I don't know about the mom. I think the parents add a little bit of spice to that story, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially since there's a YouTube video on this whole ordeal. Like, I watched this as like a short video. The parents are talking about the event. The daughter tells the cameraman or the interviewer about the event. And I don't know, I don't know why an 8-year-old would necessarily lie. So I'm prone to believe this story more or less. As I said, just the Jesus slap sitting thing is a bit odd, but it's quite similar to the story of Anita, with her dad telling her to go back, and in this case, it's just Jesus. So I guess we can see a pattern here. If I look into more stories, maybe even your story is similar to this, that someone died and someone tells them to go back. Maybe we'll see. I'm interested in your story, but this is it, like, for my two stories, definitely.
All right, bet. Well, mine is more along the lines of like what happens during that time period before he like reaches heaven, right? Because I think he goes more in depth of like what he felt and what exactly was going on. So this actually took place in the late 80s. A guy named Greg Noam, and he was 24 years old, so about around the same age as me. He was walking on a riverbed that was like very close to a waterfall. The best way I can explain this is like, imagine a river below a waterfall, and then like he was walking on like a small cliff that went behind the waterfall. Well, he accidentally slipped off and then fell into the water and hit his head multiple times before going inside the water, and then instantly began to drown. Usually when somebody gets into circumstances like this, like there's minuscule chances you go to survive in this. Like you're dead.
Oh, no.
Like hitting your head and then falling into the water, and then you can't swim, like you're not surviving.
It's game over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, after he began to drown, he says that everything went dark and he began to see a whole bunch of weird visions. Now, we usually hear stuff like this, but I've only heard of it inside movies and books and stuff, of like how your life flashes before your eyes, basically. He said as soon as everything went dark, he started to see weird visions, and he saw crystal clear memories of his childhood. He said these memories were a mixture of moments that he'd forgotten and moments from early adulthood that he still somewhat remember. He also explained that every single one of these visions was going by like at the speed of light, but he could also, like, while they're going on the speed of light, he could also pinpoint every single story, and like he would relive that moment in that speed of light. Like, it's hard to explain, but like imagine the thought just crossing your mind, but you're able to think of that thought for the full time span of like what all happened during that point in your life. It's actually pretty interesting the way he explained it. He was even able to perceive. Now this is where it kind of gets I don't know how true this is, but I definitely believe the life flashing before his eyes thing. So he's able to completely recall everything that happened in his childhood, but he claims that he was able to perceive everything around him in slow motion. So like as he was drowning, he looked at the waterfall. He saw that the waterfall was going completely slow. The water flowing around him was going very, very much in slow motion. The sandy bed that was next to him looked completely calm. Like everything was like he was just basically in like ultra instinct or something. Like everything was just going by slow, and he could just tell what all was going on around him. Like I guess it's sort of like the first story you had, where like he had 360 recollection of everything that was going on around him, basically.
Yeah, kinda.
So he says that during this moment where everything started going in slow motion, he could see and hear better than anything he had before. It's like his vision had spiked, his hearing had spiked, all of his senses basically just increased tenfold, and he was able to just do everything way better than he was. He said despite drowning, like in the same moment, he felt better than he ever had during his entire life. So this one moment, he was just like in peak human form, I guess. He said after a while of drowning, after a while of like seeing all these different memories and being able to perceive things in light speed, timing and stuff like that, everything went completely dark, and he waited for a short pause, like something was about to happen. So everything came to like a sudden stop, and he just sat there basically. Like the drowning stopped, and he was just like floating in an abyss of just blackness basically. And he said he actually stayed inside this abyss for a while. Like nobody really told him, go back to Earth. He didn't see Jesus. He kind of just like was in a void basically, just floating around.
Yeah.
But then he said after about what felt like an eternity, which probably was only like maybe a couple minutes in real life, he just woke up on the sand bed and was able to completely recall everything that happened. And he's still alive like to this day until he's 74.
Damn. That's an interesting story though. The whole, I would just call it flow state because it sounds better in this, but yeah, looks like even like looking at my stories with the whole, like the first story especially with her after quote unquote dying, being like, I feel like understanding everything, or saying everything makes sense now. Like I feel the truth, if that low key. This is similar. Maybe it's just my like dumb gamer brain thinking right now, but it would be interesting, like if this were all true, to see if humans ever were able to somehow use this state where all your senses are heightened by a lot, even like without dying. But yeah, that's probably just my gamer brain.
I was thinking the same thing. Like as I was reading it, I was like, what if we were able to connect to this part of us like at any time? Because like, I think in actuality, maybe he was at the most heightened sense of like adrenaline, maybe, to where he was just perceiving everything in slow motion and just like could literally do anything in that one moment, but he was also drowning, so he couldn't. So I mean, it'd be pretty cool if like you could ever access that. I mean, if it's inside of our body to be able to access, then why can't we just access it normally?
Yeah. So somehow forcing your body to feel as if you just died. So this state is activated, but you're still conscious and alive. There are some like shows, movies, games that have something like this. Like I saw a show where like a character said that his training routine is like jumping off a cliff head first to feel this feeling of death, and before he dies it all activates and he, I mean, saves himself. He's just like a lot of times stronger because he's in this near death state. So obviously this is just a show, right? Fiction.
Yeah.
But would be interesting, like if this were all true, that if you die or right before you die, your senses are heightened by a lot. Like, if we were able to use this, like we'll become just straight up superhumans.
I don't know why, but I'm like, as of lately, like maybe the past couple of months or so, I've been placing a lot of stake into like, there was one theory that we talked about. It was either on here or on CDD, where basically like the moments before you're about to die, your spirit or whatever just transfers over to like another version of you, and then you just live like in the timeline that you survived that one. Like you still die in your current timeline. Like if I were to walk in the street right now and then a truck come, like my spiritual would go to a different timeline, but y'all would, of course, in this timeline y'all would still like, oh shit, Apollo got hit by a car, damn. But like me, I would be in a whole different timeline where I would be able to talk to you guys, but you guys wouldn't even know that happened. That'd be crazy. Like I'm placing a lot more stake in that.
Would you know that it happened?
No, I mean it's kind of just like,
also forget about it. It's like nothing happened at all, but you just don't remember dying.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's like, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories of basically this happening. I think I saw this one story on Reddit, so I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Of course, they'd be lying like crazy over there. But this guy said that he was eating dinner and then his mom had called him to go help him like lift a couch or something because she was moving. So he went over there and started lifting the couch, and then the couch like fell backwards on him, and then he felt himself die. But then like as soon as he died, he like gasped and he was eating dinner again, and his mom called him and was like, hey, can you come like lift the couch? And then he like, yeah, exactly. So he was able to like live the timeline to where he survived, and the couch didn't fall on him this time.
Bro just went AFK for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just skip the cutscene. I don't know.
Yeah, or even in the same scenario where I explained earlier, where like somebody's driving, and they go during a green light, but then a truck, like an 18-wheeler, like misses their red light and then hits them. But like as soon as the car collides with them, they blink, and then they're driving before like 3 seconds before, and they just stop this time.
Okay, so if we go with this theory or whatever you want to call it, then every near-death experience or any event that you were close to possibly dying, you might have died, but then you were just transferred into a timeline where you survived, basically. Okay.
Basically, yeah. But I don't think you remember that shit. Like that's what I'm saying. I saw those on Reddit, so I mean they probably just lying. But I don't think, like, if it happens, I feel like it's just like a deja vu feeling. Like, whoa, I feel like this has happened before, and that's it.
Now they could be lying, of course, but I feel like there are like all these subreddits. Even like when we were on CDD and stuff, people have these weird subreddits where they actually believe in all of that. So that might be actually something that a person, like something that happened to them, and it might not have happened in the way they describe it, but it feels as if it happened to them like that. Just short-term memory loss, possibly, but at the other, like, it could also be what the Redditors just said. That they thought they just changed the timeline.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Jumped around. Yeah, it's not a bad theory, honestly. It's I don't know if it's more interesting than the one where you are living everyone, like you are everyone at once that ever existed and will exist.
Yeah, that's pretty, like, probably peak after dying theory, honestly. Because like it just proves it out. You can't disprove it. It's like Thursdayism. You can't disprove it. Like,
yeah, that's true. I mean, I was just interested to see what people thought. I went to my little brother and told him that theory and wanted to see what he thought, and he was like, "I should stop looking at all this. This sounds so dumb."
He said, "You should stop looking at it."
Yeah, he also looks at conspiracies sometimes, and I talk to him about some conspiracies here and there. But even for him, like, he knows like Tier 0 stuff and shit, like from the iceberg.
Yeah.
But when I told him this theory, he was like, "Nah, this is just some dumb shit."
Oh,
maybe he knows more than we do. I don't know.
He didn't place any stake in that.
Yeah, it still sounds interesting. Both theories are fairly not just fairly, like, very unique. Definitely high up there in terms of after you die, what happens.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just like nobody will ever know until it actually happens. I mean, it's just kind of like, it's kind of one of those things. Like, I've just started, for some reason, like, I've, like, maybe the past month, just like thinking, like, what really happens when somebody passes away. I mean, because, like, after a while, like, it's just like, it's inevitable. That's just one thing in life that's going to happen. Like, everybody's going to end up dying at some point.
Yeah.
So, especially, like, researching this whole, like, what happens in near-death experiences and stuff like that. There's a whole, like, I don't know if you found it, but there's, like, a whole organization of people that, like, research this stuff. And they call, like, the near-death, like, NDE or some shit like that.
There's organizations for anything. But, yeah, it makes sense. Some people would definitely want to research the whole thing about death and what happens after. It's just completely unexplored.
Yeah,
like, we don't know anything because we're not able to know anything if we're dead. If someone were to come back, like actually straight up die and then come back somehow and tell us what happens, we would know. But obviously this doesn't happen, or it happens and Area 51 just kidnaps them. I don't know.
Yeah, they get rid of that story instantaneously. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I don't think I believe anything online, but like if somebody close to me were to die and then like a couple hours later his heart would somehow be started back, I definitely want to converse. Like, what the fuck happened while you were dead? That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, if someone I know personally tells me a story like that, I'm probably believing it. Yeah, I think I will believe it. Like, except for if it's like super wild. But at the same time, why would they lie to me?
Like, yeah, bro, I saw Jack Black, bro. He was just chilling. No, you did not.
I mean, if it's a joke, like, sure. But if someone, like, dead ass, in like one of my friends, for example, if they died for a couple seconds, wake up and tell me what they saw, I don't know why they would lie. Like, they don't have a real reason to lie.
Yeah.
Maybe to just look cool, but then again, like, you died, bro. Like, you don't need to act cool.
You can just get so many roast off for that forever. Like, bro, you literally die. Shut the fuck up. Don't talk.
Bro. Oh, okay. Now that would be crazy. Whatever he says, doesn't matter, bro. You died. Okay?
You died. Like, you don't know anything. You couldn't even live. Like, get the fuck out of here. No, that'd be crazy. Absolutely. No, I mean, but, like I said, I mean, nobody really knows until like something actually happens. I mean, even then, like the only stake that I really placed, like 1,000% believe, is if it was somebody I knew, and they were like hardcore atheists whenever they died, but then they woke up like, no, I am a Christian now. I'd be like, what the fuck happened in there?
I saw God.
Yeah, like that'd be 1,000,000,000% believe him for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it happens, right? Like this is something common when atheists die or are close to dying. They suddenly pray to God or something, or pray to a higher being that doesn't even need to be God. So I think I think a lot of atheists deep down still wish or think that there is someone like a being higher than them. They might just always say like, nah, bro, there's no proof. But when push comes to shove and they're close to dying, they're like, please, God, save me. Like, damn,
yeah, exactly.
Bro, you didn't believe in me just like 10 seconds ago.
What if you just don't help them because they didn't believe?
Hell no. No, that sucks.
That sucks.
Enjoy hell.
No way. That's Old Testament God. He didn't give a damn.
That's true. He was wilding out.
All right, was that good? You good on your stories?
Yeah, I'm done with my stories. That's also all of your story, right? You're done.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, wild stories. Not sure if I believe them, but at the same time, except for the parents and the girl, everyone else, like, I don't know why they would lie. I low-key believe it. Like, I low-key believe that maybe not exactly what they tell us, but it still feels like they for sure saw something, and they might not remember it clearly and tell us this story. If it's true, then damn, bro, could be interesting to see.
Yeah.
For myself. And but the girl falling from the tree and her remembering exactly that she hit her head 3 times, like, damn, bro, I would be out after the first.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You didn't sit in nobody's fucking lap. Like, stop lying, bro.
Like fucking Santa Claus sitting in the wall.
Exactly. Why are they talking about bug bites? What are you talking about?
She had no injury, scratches, and not one bug bite. Like, damn, bro.
My. Okay.
What do you mean bug bites, bro? Oh, nah. They for sure writing a book about this.
Oh yeah, they got all that money off that shit, off a lie, just because she fell out of a tree.
Oh shit, our daughter fell, almost like died and came back, bro. Gotta capitalize.
That's the ultimate bag chaser. Like, if you see your daughter fall and then immediately like, oh shit, now let's just make up a story about it, and then get $1 million off of it. Like, hey, okay, you win, bro, you win.
I mean, these parents are still assholes. Yeah. Or even without the whole dying thing. You probably also saw some people like on YouTube or TikTok. There's these families that run accounts, and the parents just use their little kids for views. Yeah. God damn it, bro.
They be going...
I don't even know what gen they are. Are they millennials, bro? I'll just call them Gen Z. I don't care. Gen Z is typical for that.
Nah, I saw this video about to go crazy. It was like one of those essay videos. It was like the deeper side of family YouTubers. I was gonna click on it, but I need to. But he about to go crazy in that video. I can already tell.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. We're gonna work on our schedule so we can start getting these out weekly again. So don't worry about a 2-week break again. We should be back by next week, 1000%. But this has been Pan. This has been Apollo. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Further Beyond, next week right back to regular stories. It was a cool little. We should do these more like section off videos where like we choose a topic to do one day.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
Also, for those listening, if you die and see something, tell us in the comments.
Jesus, yeah. If you ever died or are dead right now, please tell us what you are seeing or have seen. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next episode. Peace.